Hey guys, how's it going? I thought I'd come to you today with a topic that I think affects a lot of us as gamers and collectors, and that is missing out on a potentially awesome series for whatever reason. Whether it be generally dismissing it at first as something that might not interest you, not having access to the games, forgetting about it, or what I think affects most of us, and that is having a backlog 10 miles thick. So stick around, I'll be right back to discuss my top 10 series that I missed out on and what I intend to do about it. All right, welcome back. So first thing, this list is going to have a lot of old school RPGs, and that reason being primarily because I wasn't big into the turn-based RPG formula for the longest time. I was more into like the Diablo style dungeon crawlers. But lately I've really been getting into the JRPG style, so I'm catching up on a lot of these here. And first off, we're going to go with Grandia. This series has always looked awesome to me. The subject matter looked awesome and pretty epic stories and stuff like that. So it definitely wasn't the story part of this series that held me back from playing it. It was definitely the turn-based RPG elements. Um, but upon getting into the genre, I found that a lot of them were pretty expensive or not quite as accessible as I would like them to be. So, with that being said, about a year and a half ago, I got a sweet pickup and I ended up getting pretty much the whole series. So I've got Grandia 1, Grandia 2, Grandia 3, and Grandia Extreme. So now I've got the whole series. There's nothing really holding me back. I'm gonna start this as soon as possible. I realize that's quite an investment, but it's something I'm really looking forward to trying out at last. Next up on the list is the Shadow Hearts series. The Shadow Hearts series, once I got into this genre, has been one of my most sought after ones to try out right away. I like the darker theme to it, and pretty much the only thing that holding me back from not playing this is not owning Kudelka. I still need to get the third part as well, but I have the first and second ones. So I've been lucky to get these for cheap. I'm hoping to hopefully pick up Kudelka for a decent price, but I realize it's pretty pricey. So once I get that, I'll be jumping into the series head first. All right, for the next one, I have picked the DotHack series. I got pretty lucky finding the DotHack games. I found part 1, 2, and 3 of the 4-part series. One thing that's definitely holding me back from this is not owning part 4. Part 4 is astronomical in price, and I'm not willing to pay that. So I'm hoping to find it cheap sooner rather than later. I found these all for really, really good price, so I'm hoping to stumble upon Quarantine at some point. Maybe I'll get lucky at a con or something, or I'll have some good trades and someone will have it for me. Uh, Holding out has served me well finding the rest of them, so maybe holding out a little bit longer will serve me well once again. I've also got DotHack.gu, the last recode, and that collects all the DotHack GU games, so that saved me a bundle of money right there. Each one of those games is worth more than just that one game, so that was a no-brainer to pick up like 3 games, and I think it has a fourth part on the disc too, so that's amazing. If I could do that with the original series, I'd probably do that as well, but I would really prefer to have the PS2 version and complete my set. And yeah, I've actually enjoyed some of the animes and stuff too. I checked them out, and it looks like I could really get into the series. So I'm hoping to get the last part so I can play right through, because I don't want to get through 3 parts and then just kind of, now what? So that's the only reason I haven't played that series yet. I've actually owned those ones for quite a while, except for obviously the PS4 game that just came out recently. And yeah. All right. Next up is the Secotan series. I've always wanted to try these. This is one of the first series I wanted to try once I got into the genre, and I got a super good deal on parts 2, 3, 4, and 5. I got them all at the same time in that giant RPG pickup from episode 3 of the Corpse Flood Game Flood. So, of course, I had 2, 3, 4, 5, and what was holding me back was not owning part 1. I did have it on the PlayStation Store or eShop or whatever, but I really wanted to own a physical copy of it. So I was looking around, I was and hawing, and finally found a copy for a price I was willing to pay. And I couldn't be happier. Now I can get into the series all the way. It was only recently that I got it, so I haven't gotten to start it yet, but I'm looking to start that sooner rather than later. Next, we're going to switch things up a bit, and I'm going to go with the Wonder Boy series. Wonder Boy was something that was kind of a big deal in the early Sega days, and I think I have a couple of the games on, like some of the Genesis collections. I think I have a few of the Master System games, but not having a Master System myself until recently, I felt blocked off from the series. But since I've gotten into the series, I own Wonder Boy 1, Wonder Boy Monsterland, Wonder Boy 3 The Dragon's Trap, Wonder Boy 3 The Dragon's Trap Remake, and I even have Monster's Lair on the TurboGrafx CD. So really all I'm missing is the Sega Genesis one and maybe the Game Gear one. So that's the series that I'm really wanting to start first. It's going to be one of my first Master System playthroughs. I'm going to try and just plug through all 3 of them back to back. And then obviously I want to compare it against the remake of The Dragon's Trap. So I'm hoping I get the time to do that soon, because I'm actively going for a Sega Master System full set. I'm about halfway, a little over halfway now. So hopefully MGC will be good to me and I'll be able to pick up a bunch more. Next is a series that is all over the place. So one of the main reasons of not starting is primarily confusion of which one I should play. Because I don't want to play what's considered a bad one and kind of sour myself on the series. I want to start with a really good one. But I also don't want to start too late in the series. Like, I want to see how it progresses and gets better with time, hopefully. And that is the Ys series. I've gotten a few of them lately because I've always been curious about this. I've always heard they're good games, but I've also heard there's hit and miss ones. I've heard this one might be one of the more different ones and kind of not one to base the series on. So I've got the Super Nintendo one. I've got the Sega Master System, the Vanished Omens, sorry. I've got the Ark of Naphistim for PS2. I've got Ys Origins from the Limited Run Games series, and one I'm really tempted to just jump in as my first one, but like I said, I kind of want to see how the series progressed to this point, and that is Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana. It looks awesome. I had to pick it up, even though I haven't played the other ones I had. It was a good price, so I couldn't pass it up. So if you could go in the comments and let me know which one is the one to start with. Maybe it might not even be one that I have yet. I'm definitely down for recommendations on all these series in the video. So hit me up and let me know what's up. Next, I'm kind of going with two series. It's a little hard to explain. They all have the same precursor to the name, but they're generally spin-offs of each other. And that is the Persona and the Shin Megami Tensei series. There's a ton of these games, and I honestly am a little overwhelmed on knowing where to start. I hear good things about the Persona games, so that's probably where I'd like to jump in. And I've been pretty lucky. I've got 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I hear great things about all of them. I don't know if that's one where I need to start it at the first game. I think they're all their own story, kind of like the Final Fantasy games. They all look pretty awesome. I'm really tempted to try Persona 5 because it being the newest one, but I kind of want to play through some of the other ones first, a lot like the East games. And I'm kind of all over the place with the Shin Megami Tensei games. I don't have a lot of those yet. I've got 4 on 3DS. I've got Nocturne on PS2, and I have both Digital Devil Saga games. So if someone could hit me up and give me your recommendation on what games I should play, even if there's ones to avoid, I would definitely appreciate it on that series. I have next to no knowledge of it. I've just gotten really good deals on a lot of these, and I would like to get Persona 1 to kind of have the set, but yeah, I definitely would rather try the series and see what I think of it before investing more money. Like I said, I got these ones at a good deal, but I'm not holding my breath on finding the first one for a good deal, but that would be great. All right, the next series is one I am definitely guilty of dismissing as something that wouldn't interest me for the longest time, and that is the Onimusha series. At first, it just didn't look like anything I'd really care about, something that I could miss. And upon hearing other YouTubers and friends praising this and seeing a little bit of gameplay for myself, I'm definitely swayed to want to try this series. I know Power Metal Gamer, this is one of his favorite series of all time. And yeah, they're dirt cheap, so there was really no excuse to not pick these up and try them out. I understand they use the tank controls a lot like the old Resident Evil or Silent Hill games, and I'm cool with that. I'm pretty quick to adjust to that style, so that's not something that's going to hold me back. So definitely, I've got 1, 2, 3 on the PS2, and I also have Genma Onimusha on the original Xbox. And yeah, I've got no excuse to not play these now. Um, I'm missing the 4th game for the PS2. I didn't know there was 4. I actually just thought it was the 3, but I saw someone's pickups in one of my local groups and realized, hey, I don't have that one. So I'll have to pick that up. It's nothing holding me back from playing the series, but it's yeah, I've got no excuse to not play them now. I definitely have to get into this sooner rather than later. Next is another series that I'm definitely, uh, I kind of talked about it already before, but I'm definitely guilty of totally dismissing it, and that is the Uncharted series. Originally, when these came out, all it looked like was Tomb Raider with a guy to me, and I was like, well, why you gotta copy something that's already done? Really, it just seemed like a copycat game. So I generally just dismissed them. I kept getting them for really cheap, so you know why not kind of thing. So naturally, I have 1, 2, and 3 for the PS3. So yeah, I still never felt the need to crack into them. I kept hearing praise on them. I was like, yeah, whatever. If I want to play Tomb Raider, I'll play Tomb Raider. Yeah, it was basically like Tomb Raider the guy, so Indiana Jones the game. Okay, why don't they just make an Indiana Jones game? And then once I got my PS4, I got the Nathan Drake collection. For some reason, it just came with other games. And then I actually fixed a PS4 for a friend of mine. It wasn't reading any discs and stuff like that, so I got it going for him. And the game I put in to test it out was, he just gave me, I don't know why he gave me his games. Like, I had my own games, but he was just like, oh, just make sure they work. So First one I put in was Uncharted 4, just to play a few minutes of it and make sure everything was going good before I gave it back to him. And I was sold right from the first 5 or 10 minutes that I played. I was like, wow, this is actually awesome. Now I got to go back and try these all out. And I ended up getting 4 for Christmas that year. So yeah, there was no point to not trying the series out. I had no excuse. I already had the games. Once I got 4, I was actually going to hold off on getting 4 until I had played some of the other ones. But definitely glad to have that. Also for Black Friday, the Lost Legacy went on, and I figured, hey, pick that up while I'm at it. The only one I'm really missing is the Vita one, but I'm not really a big Vita collector, so. All right, last and certainly not least, and definitely my biggest regret on pushing games to the side or not really checking it out. It's not that I didn't have any interest in the series. It's just that I kind of forgot about it until recently, and then I started really wanting to try these out, but having pretty much no access. I never see these in stores anywhere, except for the newer ones that have come out on PS4, and of course that series is Yakuza. I always whine about how they need to make new beat 'em up games and how I miss beat 'em up games, and they never seem to make them anymore. Well, there was one right under my nose the whole time. Uh, and then once I realized that this was like kind of a beat 'em up series, generally I wanted to start from the beginning, but I could not find the Yakuza games anywhere. Like I said, I never see them in stores. So that kind of held it off for even longer for me trying. But thankfully, with the PS4, they've gone and kind of done a reboot and also kind of started started off with a prequel. So I've got Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami, which is a remake of the first one, and I ended up getting the first one given to me right after getting Kiwami. So it would be cool to kind of compare the two of those and see what they improved in Kiwami. But I wasn't sure where I wanted to start, with Kiwami, which is the first one, or with Zero, which is a prequel to the whole series. And I thought, hey, this is the perfect jumping on point. And I've been playing the crap out of this game lately. Uh, and I regret all those years I wasted not playing the other games. So as of right now, this is my most sought after series, and my biggest regret in gaming history is that I have not been with the Yakuza series the whole time. At MGC, I'm looking to pick up the ones I've missed. Bummer is that Part 5 is a digital only game in North America, so that really sucks. So I'll have to deal with that. But I've got 6 pre-ordered already. It comes out in a few weeks. And I've got Kiwami 2 pre-order, which comes out in August. So I'm stoked for those. I'm all in on the series, and it's quickly becoming one of my favorite series. If any of the other games are like Zero, which I'm sure they are, yeah, I've got a new series on my hands that I've got to play through immediately. All right, that about does it for my list for now. I'm sure there's tons of other series that I've missed out on that I'll regret in the future, so there might be a part 2 of this video coming up. The top 10 wasn't really a prioritized list. Maybe the top 3 were closer to that, but not really in any way a priority list. So definitely let me know what games I should try first in each of these series if I haven't already kind of stated what I want to start with. And I'd like to hear what kind of series you guys missed out on. So definitely hit me back in the comments and let me know. I'd like to hear your reasons behind missing out on them as well. Feel free to do your own response video. I'm going to tag a couple of my favorite YouTubers because I'd really like to see them do a video response to this. So it's kind of a long list, but I really want to hear from a lot of these guys. So first off, I want to hear from Smash JT. Second of all, I want to hear from an up-and-coming YouTuber I've been enjoying a lot of lately, and I'd like to hear from Discart. I'd like to hear from Chit Chat Gaming. I'd like to hear from O'Brien's Retro Rewind. And of course, I'd like to hear from my Midwest Gaming Classic panel buddies. And that would be Chris the Old Ass Retro Gamer, Church the Game Grinder, Musty Hobbit from Second Breakfast, and Taylor from Rising Blue Phoenix. So definitely do your best to get me a response on that, guys. And anybody else, feel free to make a response and tag me in it. Either uh, let me know in the comments that you've done so. I'd definitely like to check out your guys' videos. So if I haven't tagged you, feel free to do it, and I'd love to see more feedback on this. All right, take care of yourselves. Have a good day.